Welcome to the channel, and this is Coffee with Philip. I think I nailed that intro. So today's topic is a very interesting topic because it's highly requested, and moreover it's a very popular topic, and it's about why masculinity is declining, why men are becoming weaker than weaker. I've done a similar video, but it's a really short video. It's like a 6 minutes video concerning this topic, but this video is more goes into depth and understanding why the society is where it is right now and how men have become so weak than ever. And you really need to understand this is you need to compare the type of men that we have these days and the type of men that we had 50 years ago, from the 1980s, 1970s, to the type of men that we have right now. See, there's a tremendous and huge difference because men are much weaker these days in terms of masculinity, and this is scientifically proven because scientists have came with this data that the testosterone level in men is lower than usual, and there is a decrease of 1% every year at an average. That means across the decades, in every decades, we have men with low testosterone, lower than the other in the previous decades. So as far as I'm concerned, this is why we come to a conclusion that why men are much weaker these days, why there is less masculinity these days. And if you go into depth, you understand that what the media depicts of this topic and the type of content we consume these days, masculinity is extremely discouraged. You see that being feminine is actually pushed into the media because it's pushed into media that it's okay for a man to be weak. It's okay for a man to be more feminine and for feminine to be more masculine. I think what's wrong is pushing down the topic of masculinity is making masculinity looking bad, and the way they're labeling it's termed as toxic masculinity, and being masculine is it's more like being a bad person. And recently there was a guy who used his influence on social media to inspire young kids to become more masculine, to be more strong, to find their goals, be more successful in life, go to the gym and work out, cure men depression. And they canceled him because they labeled him as pushing the narrative of being toxic masculinity. And that's one among the factors why the society is where it is right now. The society that we have right now is much more simple. There isn't much struggle. It's like it's different from back in the days where you have to struggle for everything. When I say struggle for everything, I mean literally everything. You had to struggle to get food, you had to struggle to get a partner into a relationship, you had to struggle with life in general. So these days it's so easy. Life has become so easy. It's less complicated because people don't even go out to look for men don't actually even go out to look for actual relationship. Men would prefer to go on the internet and watch dirty videos, log into the hub and watch videos, and they just get the dopamine hit, and they feel like everything else about going outside, meeting a partner and start dating is completely unnecessary. We see this to the types of food we eat, how it has become so easy to get fast food. Someone could easily order for food and get their food delivered right at their door. Back in the days, you had to go and hunt and get that food. It wasn't easy as it seemed. It was completely difficult. You had to go and hunt. You either had to go and hunt, or you either had to go and farm to get that food in the first place. So that's why I say things have become so simple these days, and that is why it has led to men become much more weaker than are. So going deep into this topic, I've came and put down different reasons to why masculinity has been declining and why men have become more weaker than ever. So that's a coffee break. So among the reason, it can be grouped down into diet, lifestyle, working out, and generally the type of things that we consume, the content that we consume as as men. And when it comes to diet, is the type of food that we're eating this day doesn't really have any much benefit into building our masculine self and finding our masculine energy. The food that we eat and consume these days does not junk food, basically. If I'm going to describe it, then it's junk food. And it's so easy to get your food. It's just one click away to get your food. You can just go through your phone and go to DoorDash or order some KFC or some McDonald's, and it can be delivered directly and straightly to your house. So it's so much easy, and the type of food that we eat is that type of food. Junk food doesn't really have much benefit into the body. And eating vegetables and stuff, and it's highly discouraged. It's not something that it's pushed generally, and it's what people prefer these days. It's just to get that dopamine hit, and that's one among the reasons why men have become weaker and weaker, because that type of food will lead to obesity. That type of food will lead to decrease of testosterone. And the other one is working out and exercise. Very few people are willing to go and exercise. Like I said earlier, that struggle and working out, when you associate these things like inflicting pain into yourself, because working out is putting pain into yourself to get muscle gain, to gain good health, to increase your testosterone levels, but people see it as pain, struggle. That's why you find very few people in the gym, very few men going to the gym and working out and building themselves. And if you know, a good source of testosterone is actually going to the gym, and working out. So that's why masculinity is declining, because people are not even willing to put into the shift. People are not even willing to put in the hard work to achieve health, good physical and masculine strength. So this is among the facts. And the other one is lifestyle. The lifestyle that we have right now, we are so tied into the comfort zone, and we like everything being it the easy way. Watching a TV, you get an instant dopamine hit. Watching a Netflix series, when you stay off TikTok, Instagram, when you consume this app, social medias, you get a dopamine hit, and it's easy dopamine. And dopamine, this is a hormone that released in your brain that tells you that you're actually feeling good. Back then, dopamine could be it's because the other way you could get dopamine is by achieving something, doing something that's hardcore, hard work, and then that reward is dopamine. So back then, when someone would go and hunt for food for their family, when they successfully hunt for the food for their family, that's like the reward is to get dopamine, the feel good hormone. So these days it's so easy to get dopamine that you don't really need to do anything hard to get dopamine. You can just sit down and play video games and enjoy through and get that dopamine hit. And this is what makes us less masculine. And if you are to go outside there and work hard to get that reward at the end of the day, that's when we'll become more masculine. But since that we have this kind of lifestyles that we have adopted, and we're so tied up into our comfort zone, this is why it results to having more men that are weak than ever, and the lack of masculinity. And there's this very powerful quote which it says that strong men, hard times create strong men, strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. And if you break down this quote, you'll completely get the whole notion and the whole idea of why masculinity has been declining, and why the current situation that we're in the current generation, the current lifestyle that we live, has made us to have hard times. And if you break down the quote, you'd really understand this whole topic of decline of masculinity and why men are becoming weaker than ever. So all in all, if you have learned a few things from this video, I'd like you to stay for more videos, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.